Hello, everybody. This is Susan's rant. We're starting off with Susan's rant, but before we get to Susan's rant, I have a question. I would like to know, I have two questions. Where you're from, and if I'm going to do, and I will do demo dogs or demos for you today, some dog training demos. I want to know which dog, and it looks like most of the votes are for the barking bulldog over here. Tater, come on over here.
It's scratchy, just so you know.
It's scratchy. People, are you not hearing me so good? Let me just check my settings, check my audio, and that should be the one I want. Thank you, bud.
Better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have the dog cam set up for us to do some demos, and I do have options. I narrowed it down to two based on the pre-live poll that I took, and it seemed there was a lot of votes for the puppy and there were a lot of votes for tater salad. And so I've got, let me just see. I've got the puppy and I've got, let me see if that works better. There we go. I've got tater salad and I have the puppy. I just got to make sure my camera, my dog cam is hooked up. So which one would you like to see me work? And
A lot of bees.
A lot of bees. And the bees are for?
The baby.
Bee for the baby. Okay, I'll see if that will work. And if it does, here we go.
Got 4 bees.
Boom.
1 swagger.
Oh, there's a baby.
1.
There was a few votes for Thissy, but Thissy just, we actually got in this morning. I was down at the US Open and we got in at 2:00 this morning. We drove, we did a little side trip on the way home. So we got in at 2:00 this morning. So a lot of votes for the baby. And we might do both. We might do both. Okay. Let's get to the first question that I have that kind of inspired me to do this live. I mean, number one, if you don't know, this is what my American friends are celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend. So big shout out to all our American friends. And this is the week that we normally do what is called the salad event. Tater salad. Can you just open the gate and he can go downstairs if he wants. He doesn't have to stay up here. It's tater salad dinner o'clock. We don't have a dinner o'clock. We feed when we get around to it. But if he wants to leave, that's fine. I can train the puppy. So just read LaDonna's post. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, LaDonna is one of our students that is in recallers. Actually, she's in more than just recallers. But LaDonna's in our recallers community, we have, I would guess we have thousands and thousands of students in our recallers community. And LaDonna happens to be one of them who's been in there for, I know, more than 5 years. LaDonna's husband passed away recently. And I had a great idea. I've never met LaDonna in person. She's an online student, has been an online student for years. And when we were driving home, I said to Kim, I know it's really late, but wouldn't it be fun just to detour by LaDonna's farm? I can get the team to look up her address and give her a hug. And so that's what we did. So it made us get in at 2 a.m, but it was a lovely surprise, I think. So that was the surprise that we did. Okay, we have votes for more votes. Still a bit scratchy. Okay, well, I'll try to speak up.
Lisa finds it's when you're close to the microphone. That's what
the microphone is actually the camera. So, okay, so what encouraged me, and you guys can keep voting because I'm going to, yeah, we did that. It was a great surprise. What inspired me is we get a lot of questions. We have our big cyber event, which means all of our classrooms are open right now. In our big cyber event, we get a lot of questions about, should I join one of your programs? And so we get questions about how long do I have access to the program? And this is what I'm like, I want each of you to have amazing success with your dog. I don't care if you join my program. My goal is for dogs worldwide to live their best life. And do you know what I've observed happens when dogs live their best life? Their person is shown the path to ascend to know their highest self. That sounds a bit woo, but when you recognize the sentient being that a dog is, and you look to help them live their best life, what happens is that you change. And that's what I want for all of you. And I honestly, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It doesn't matter if you are one of my students. It really doesn't. And before I forget, I will be giving prizes away today. So don't let me forget. But I want to get this off my chest. So I want to share with you where this came from. I want you to think about, if you think of the timeline of your training with your dog. Now, I know some of you that are on this live today have a particular challenge you're working with. So give me a, yeah, that's me in the comment if you have a particular challenge you're trying to work through with your dog, or you just have general behavior you'd like to change. I'd like to, I'd like to see my dog a little bit more connected to me. I'd like to see maybe some of you are working in agility. So write that. I want to see my dog excel in agility, or I want to see my dog to not be so reactive when we're walking down the street. So some of you may be working on a particular challenge and write that in. Yeah, that's me. Or you're just working on general behavior. Some of you might just be, Susan Garrett's doing a live, and it might be like she's giving away lifetime access. So I'm thinking I might want, want more information on that. So if you look at all of us, we all are starting where we are now. So the dog's that dog, someday we're going to give him a name, is where we are now. That is today. That is Tuesday, November 21st, unless you are in Australia, because those people are from the future. Yeah. And for all of us, it is what is the state of our dog's behavior now? How much do they understand don't pull on a leash? How much do they understand how to find their way into what I call reinforcement beside me? How much do they understand don't jump on people, don't lunge at other dogs? How much do they understand how to come when they're called, right? And then look at last month. What is the gap between what you've got now and what you had last month? So I think of my 19-month-old puppy, Prophet. The gap between where we are now and where we are a month ago is monstrous. He's a sponge who just loves the games and learns so very, very fast, right? So where we were last month is miles away. So what about you guys? Is the behavior of your dog improved? We're growing and improving. Miles, is it improved by miles from last month, or is it improved incrementally, or is it pretty much the same place it was last month? You're still frustrated by the same things you were a month ago. What about 6 months ago? Were you, and I'm getting to a point here. This is a really, really important. If some of you are going, where is this lady going? Super important. What about 6 months ago? Well, Prophet wasn't even born because he's not quite 5 months old. So that is looking back at your growth gap. Is your growth gap huge? Now, most of us have a really, really big future planning gap. Where we are today, where we want to be. So that where we want to be should be a broken line, because, it might go out miles into the future. This is what I want for my dog. I want him to come when he called. I want him to have an amazing retrieve. I want him to be one of the best agility dogs on the planet. I want him to be such a well-behaved family pet that he's the envy of everybody's dog ownership, because they just think he's amazing. So what does it look like where you want to be? That future gap, it might be huge. Some of you might be, I've got the most amazing dog, like Swagger. Where he is today and where I want, he's an amazing dog. He's an amazing dog. There's nothing more that I would want from him than just to continue to be his spectacular 12-and-a-half-year-old self. All right. So do you guys, does this make sense to you on your journey? Let me write in the comments. I get this. I get what my future gap looks like. I get what my growth gap to date looks like. I see those two gaps. Do you understand that we've got our growth gap so far, our future gap? So, okay, so this is making sense. All right. Here's what makes me a little crazy and causes me to rant. I want you all to fulfill that future gap. I want that for you. So people, one of the most common questions we have, do I get lifetime access to your program, Susan Garrett? There are people that will give me lifetime access to their programs. Think about this. You pick A or B. Listen to your two options before you pick A or B.
Say them again.
So option B is lifetime access to the program that you're signing up for. Lifetime access, which is everything Susan Garrett knows about the topic. If it's agility you want to join, it's handling 360, it's everything I know about that topic to date. Everything that goes into that. Lifetime access, that's yours. Or would you rather have option A, which is everything that I have to date that I will myself, my community of coaches will support you and guide you and answer your questions every step along the way for a certain period of time. It might be 4 months. It might be 1 year. And then at the end of that time, for a nominal re-registration fee, you get what I've learned in that past year. You get all the new information. So option A, or excuse me, if you pick option B, I want that lifetime access, you're going to count on the fact Susan Garrett's not going to learn anything more past today. That's it. All she knows about dog training is happening. I'm going to buy it all, and I'm going to keep relearning that for the rest of my life. Option A, Susan's going to continue to grow and learn and question and continuing to give information to all of her online students and change her programs so that those online programs evolve and the new and easier way to process information gets given to me for a very nominal registration fee to be an alumni in the program. Do you see the difference between why we don't give lifetime access? Any lifetime access course I've taken online, and I have many of them, I'm going to tell you two things about them. It's a bunch of videos and some downloadable PDFs. Generally, you can't ask any questions. And sure, you can have access to them forever, but that's old information. That's what that creator knew when they put that program together. That might have been 10 years ago. And if you're learning from somebody who hasn't learned in the last 10 years, my friend, move on. Move on. That is not the way to learn. The other thing I want to tell you about those lifetime memberships, and some of you might be with me. Any of you who have ever had a lifetime membership to anything, how many times have you gone back and looked at that old stuff? When I first, I guess it was 2007, I wanted to learn how to create an online community so I could teach my students online because I was traveling around the world. I went to Europe, I went to Australia, I went to Japan, I went to the United States a lot. I actually had a working visa in the United States because I was teaching so much down there. I would go here. And the improvement of my students was painfully slow because I could only see them. Like my Australian students, I saw them every 2 years. My Americans, I saw them more often than that, but it was still slow. And then I'd go and I'd have to reteach what I already taught. And so that's why I'm like, I got to learn how to provide a classroom that I could be with people all over the world every single day. And so I did a deep dive on educating myself on how to teach online. And I bought lifetime access to these programs. And back then you got CDs and you got big binders of information. I've got, I think, 5 of those courses. I've not looked at any of them, not ever once. That's what Lifetime gets you. It's a bunch of crap that fills your garage that you have to put into landfill. So I don't know how to tell people you don't want lifetime access. If somebody's offering you lifetime access, that means they will not be coaching you after today. I think what makes all of our programs amazing is the 3 C's. It's the coaching, the content. It's 4 C's. The content, it's all of my 35 years as a professional dog trainer that I've evolved and evolved and evolved. That's the content, the videos, the downloadable PDFs, the webinars, the extra bonuses that we put into everything to help you to grow and grow and grow. It's the content. It's the community of people that are supporting people like LaDonna, who just lost her husband, with just outpouring of love for her. It's the community for when we had a post from somebody recently with a 6-month-old Aussie who is ready to quit because she thinks I have to give this puppy back to the breeder. And we troubleshot what was going on. 2 days later, her dog was a different dog. So it's community. It isn't the sterile lifetime access to watch videos and download PDFs. That's not what we're talking about. It's the content, it's the community, it's the coaching. And the 4th C, it's the caring. I don't care if you are a student of mine or not. I want you to have the best life possible for yourself and your dog. That's why my team and I put out Shape by Dog and put so much effort into the what we're teaching in the Shape by Dog podcast, that people get it. Okay, I think it's time, number 1, to take a break and give away a prize.
Because you're ranting.
Because of my rant. I said I was ranting, and there's my rant. Do you want lifetime access, or do you want ongoing, evolving, cutting edge coaching that will help you and your growth mindset be fed and evolve and connect with your dog? All right.
Sheila likes your explanation.
Thank you, Sheila. Blue Night, we've got some amazing sponsors. So can we have some hearts? If you are able to make if you're on a Mac, it's the less than and the 3 sign, or pound the heart for our sponsors. We've got amazing, amazing sponsors. And I just want to shout out, Blue Nine. I'm going to miss some of them. So we've got Blue Nine we're going to give away a Propel right now. Just not like at this moment, but at the end of the day, giving away our Propel. And all that you have to do is share my rant. Susan Garrett is a little cray-cray. We call her Crazy Aunt Susan, and that's fine. Share it on your social media page, whether it be, I don't know, the gram, the Facebook, the Twitter, whatever it is. Share it. Come on back here and in the comments said I shared it, and tell us where. And if it's a different name than you're appearing here, then write the name of your place. Say you shared it, and at the end, my team is going to randomly pick one person. And the great people at Blue Nine are going to send you a Propel. Love, you know what? Maybe I'll do a little demo with the puppy on the Propel. Okay, that's number 2. And I'm going to give away another prize at the end. So,
just join.
Who did?
Ryan just joined.
So we're going to give away a prize from For My Merles at the end. For My Merles, I have a bunch of tug toys here that that the good people at For My Merles provide for me. Okay, so here's what I want you to follow. There's this meme floating around in Facebook right now, and I should have screen capped it. I wasn't that clever. It says something like this. It takes, I believe the number is 322 repetitions to learn a skill. 300 repetitions. So let's say we want our dog to come in to your side to walk on a loose leash. We need them to come into reinforcement zone. You teach the dog once or twice. There are 422 repetitions of a skill before we can call it learned. Now, as we know in dog training, there's a lot of antecedent arrangements that have to be, 422 repetitions of using a cookie to get your dog into the side doesn't mean when there's no cookie that the dog will go into your side, right? That's different, but that's another topic. 422 repetitions, but that can get down to 8 repetitions when you teach it within a game. And all of our programs, since the beginning of Susan's career in dog training, everything has been turned into a game because that's who I am. Back when I was 19 years old, I milked cows one summer for a summer job. And I was a city kid, didn't know anything about it. And the farmer said to me, you need to, on Sunday, we were playing baseball and with his kids, and he was like hitting balls out in the field. And I was like running all over and diving all over and grabbing these balls. And he said, you're a different person when you play a game. You need to find a job in life that you can turn into a game for yourself. I was 19 years old. I remember those words word for word because here I am today. I turn everything into a game. So that meme, 322 repetitions to learn a new skill, that can be cut down to 8 repetitions when you teach it within a game, which is what we do for our dogs. All right, I'm going to take so that works. The game stuff works, but it's got to be taught in layers. So let's take something that I've taught in layers and share that with you. And we're going to use the Propel to do a little demo with the puppy. Okay, so maybe Linda, you can sit here and check the comments while I'm doing this to see if there's any questions ongoing when I'm training. Okay, so, oh, you can see, okay. So we'll put that. We've got an intruder that has to be removed.
And you can see a quiet puppy.
And you see his quiet puppy in his crate.
I have been rewarding him.
So I'm going to have to get Uncle Swagger to move because he's going to be in the way of training, and the puppy will be distracted, but we'll work through it. All right, so Swagger needs a toy first of all, because Monka, can you help it? There we go. So, oh, that's even better. Then I can use this one for the puppy. Here you go. Oh, but he might squeeze it. There, well, you can have that one.
And my cookies are on the counter there.
All right, so do a little rendition of foundation number 1 is Crate Games. Good boy. Cook. Cook. Break. Strike. Okay, so I'm going to, can you see this
Yep.
perch?
It just needs you to move. I can move it. This needs to come.
Yeah, move it back. So let's say we wanted to get the puppy's paws up here. You could just tug them across there. And so then they get used to being, like this is teaching something in a game. So as soon as I get the paws up there, yeah, as soon as he tugs, yeah, I can praise him. Yeah. So now he's like, yeah, that's good. So good. Okay, so now I can just wait. Will you put your paws up there? Yeah, sing. Okay, so there's so many little games that we teach, but I use location-specific markers, which means I've got cookies in my hand, and you heard me when I was playing Crate Games, I said cook, which means I'm going to deliver a cookie to your mouth, and I'll say search, and he knows that the cookies are going to be delivered on the floor. Can you come over here? Sit. Cook. So cook means stay where you are. Ready? Sit. I'm going to put them down there. Cook. That means they're coming to you. There's no need to rush. Cook. Search. That means they're yours. Simple little game. Strike. Yeah. Strike. Okay. That's all we'll do for that layer, foundation layer. Kennel. Break.
Remind us how old he is.
So Prophet is going to be 20 weeks old this week. Mine. Ready? Lee, strike. Lee, strike. Lee. Strike. Ready, sit, strike. You can make it harder. Ready, kennel, strike. And sit, kennel. Lionel. Good boy. There we go. So give him cookies. There we go. So
leave me some.
Good cookies for Auntie to carry on with crate game training. All right, I'll just bring this back here. Okay, so I showed you then just some so if we look at the gap, where I am at today. That puppy, look at the focus he had to work with me. Swagger had a squeaky toy. I did not have a squeaky toy. Swagger is his best buddy, is playing, squeaking, saying, hey, don't listen to her. Come on up and play on the couch with me. That's not what Swagger was saying, but he could be. So how do we get a puppy to stay focused on the work and ignore the distractions? Well, because we build up these little games that they layer, that they understand. That's fun. I just want to keep playing. I wouldn't ask. Thanks, Christopher. Says my mic is peaking. I'm going to find somebody who knows what that means after today's live. I'm the dog trainer. So that's what I want for all of you. Where am I at now with my puppy? What's the growth gap? It's huge. Every day that growth gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But what happens is people get frustrated because they get frustrated because where they want to be seems so far away. My dog's reacting when he sees other dogs on leash outside. My dog keeps stealing food from the counter. My dog keeps pooping on the rug. My dog, the where you want to be gap is huge and the growth gap is small. So as a human being, you're starting to feel a little bit of disappointment and frustration, maybe even feel like you're a failure or feel like there's some shame that, well, this puppy is 5 months old and Susan Garrett's puppy is so much further along. And that's why you need a community of support. That's why you need somebody like myself and my coaches to say, give yourself some grace and just focus on what can we do to get a little growth from where you are today to a month from now. We're not going to get to where you want to be in a month, but we can create a gap that will become your growth gap. So a month from now, we're still not going to be where you want to be, but you're such a far away from where you are today. And that is the fire, the motivation that keeps you going, hey, I can do this. It's not just me teaching you a bunch of random games. It's games that leads you to another game, that leads you to another game, that leads you to another game. Allison, you're going to help me turn this down? Okay. So there's so many people teaching games today, but it's not just teaching game. It's intentional games that lead you to another layer, that leads you to another layer, that leads you to another layer. That's what I want you to get. That's how you create monster growth gaps. All right. And so for some of you, and I'm going to get to some of your questions because there's some great questions. For some of you, that might start with something like joining Homeschool the Dog, which is normally $297. You get 4 months of coaching, community, content, and caring. You don't get lifetime access to a load of crap that you're never going to look at. You get 4 months. It's normally, if you go to my website, it's probably changed now because of the cyber event, but it's normally on the website for $297. You can get that for $49. Now, if you are like some people who've been through Homeschool the Dog, or they're like, I just want to commit to a year, then Recallers is a place to play. A lot of the games that I showed you with the puppy, that's from Recallers. Or you might say, no, I want a deep connection. I want Susan coaching me every month. I want to get a deep dive into dog training. And then I see inner circle, which we usually take on 10 new people into our group because we like to keep that group a little smaller. So we keep it under 100 people per year. And then there's those of you who are saying, well, I want to do agility. So my dog has got some decent skills that comes when he's called, and he's got some decent connection with me. And then so for me, I would like handling 360. So that's what it looks like. That's what the game-based layering looks like. All right, so let's get, so Chris has asked, I got to take that banner off. Hold on. Chris has asked, if I'm in recolors, would I get additional information through Homeschool the Dog? Chris, what you would get, and I don't know if we make this public enough. Once you've gone through Homeschool the Dog, there'll be some games that are the same. There'll be some new games, but through Homeschool the Dog, you then get access to join WAG Nation, which is a membership site that we teach a new trick a week, or new trick a month, a new dog training topic that we focus on. So it is different. Recallers is a place that I encourage everybody to be, because that's how I raise all my puppies. That's how the rescue dog was raised. Just learning all of the recaller games. When people say I'm frustrated, my growth gap is too small, we'll say, how's game day number 5 going for you? How's game day number 6? The Recallers has got 41 games. If you're struggling, if you're frustrated, then people kind of get away from the games and they focus on things that I want my dog walking on a leash. I want my dog not chasing squirrels. What does game day 1 through 7 look like? Because that's what we want. So this is a quote that I wrote down. From a fellow that I just bought 3 of his books, actually, Joshua Metcalf. And I think it's his most recent book called Chop Wood, Carry Water. Greatness is a bunch of small things over time. That's what gives you a growth gap. Greatness is a bunch of small things done well and added up over time. Time is your timeline. The greatness is the foundation of playing one game. Adding the next game, the next game, the next game, the next game. It's a bunch of small things done well over time, added up to give you a growth gap. Right? Okay, so Marie says, Recall is absolutely revolutionary. I heartily recommend it. Changed my life, my dog's life. Thank you, Marie. And Marie's been in our program for a long time. And people say, well, why would you want to be in it for a long time? Well, because we always add something new. There's always a webinar, a rant. There's always a bonus that I'm, like, for example, we put in, I'm gonna go back to these comments and just, here we go. For example, pedicure, please, for $19, or if you're in Recallers, you can have it for free, right? That is how to get your dog to fall in love with having his nails trimmed. So I come up with these new ideas. I just put it in Recallers. Ashley asked, will Homeschool the Dog boost a dog's confidence? Every single one of our programs will boost a dog's confidence. Do you know where confidence comes from? Now, I'm not going to say like all dog training problems are fixed like magical because you're in my classroom. Because if a dog is in severe pain, maybe they have a medical condition, or maybe they have arthritis, that they will appear to be worried and withdrawn, but they might just be in pain. So I just want to make it clear that there may be more to why your dog is showing a lack of confidence. My own dog, who's now 3, that was part of hers. It was a nutrition problem that took me almost 2 years to figure out. So will Homeschool the Dog boost confidence? Absolutely. Because confidence comes through clarity. Clarity comes through the understanding on, I have the power. That puppy had the power to try and steal all those cookies. But he also knew if he listened to the words that were coming out of my mouth, he could earn those cookies. Do you see how confident he was? He wasn't going, I don't know if this is going to work. Confidence comes through clarity. And so, yes, everyone, Homeschool the Dog, you will gain confidence. Recolors, you have a year of confidence gaining. Handling 360, you have a year of confidence growing that is about motion and about dog agility. Okay, so absolutely. All right, so I'm going to get the puppy out and do another little demo for you.
Lisa just asked if you could remove the banner,
Remove what banner?
your streamer, because I guess it's in your way.
I don't see any banner. So if you guys see a banner, I can't do anything about it. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to change my camera. There we go. To boom. Oh, that's not what I want. That one. Okay. And we've got the distraction. We've got Mr. Handsome. We got two Mr. Handsomes. Let's see if we can keep, we'll let the distraction stay. See how this goes. We're looking for an SIT. Cook. Strike. Yeah, so we got the distraction staying there. I got my two brown dogs, my two brown boy dogs. Mine, strike. Dun, 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 mine. Yay, that's a big distraction. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get a seat. Get over here. Mine, close. Close. Here we go. Search. I'm going to stand up now. Okay, close. Good. Cook. Swagger, can you hop it up? Close. Good. So we had a little distraction. Now I'm going to see if he can find his way back here. Search. Close. Good boy. Search. I'm going to get rid of that. Close. So this is where I want my puppy to be when I'm walking down the street. Close. Nice, Cook. So if I turn left, I want my puppy to be turning with me. Good. If I turn right, I want my puppy to be turning with me. If I turn back left and right and left, good boy, I want my puppy. So do you see how easy it's going to be? Strike. Get a stick. Get these ting, please. Get a ting, please. Yeah. So if I put his leash on, mine. Good boy. So now if I'm walking down the street, close. Good. So I've just got a puppy. So we teach the loose leash walking with a puppy that he learns it without the leash on. Adding the leash, when we do it this way, adding the leash doesn't become a tool that I pull my puppy around with. It just becomes another distraction because they know what close means. Or I like to walk my dog on both sides. Side. They know what side means. Good. Right? Search. Side. Good. You get a little closer? Here we go. Close. Nice. Good. Side. Can you come a little closer? That's it. Good. Side. Nice. Good boy. This is super good. Strike. You can get it. You can get it. Yes. Okay, let's get this propel going. So this propel, we're going to give out to, it's going to be our share prize today. What can you do with that? It's helping a dog to understand where their body is. So I can do things like put the cookie on the ground, get my puppy. We'll get a little too advanced for that puppy. So see how he keeps wanting to move that front leg? I want him to keep his front leg straight and not steal my cookies while I'm teaching. That's better. Cook. Good. I'm going to get that front leg straight. I'm going to try it this way. Good. Cook. So that's going to help him learn to balance. Search. So it's much easier to teach puppies things like this when you have a propel. You could use couch cushions, but it's really, this is a far better tool because it's not so unstable that it's hard for the puppy. It's much easier, but it's got a little bit of give. That's better. Cook. You got to get your paws up. Cook. Good. So I can do things like that. I can also do things like seeing if he can turn on that, right? His other way is more difficult. Lee. That was super good. That was your hardest way, isn't it? So good. Kennel. That's good. Okay. We're going to give away one of those propels. So if you are in the share, make sure that you come back here and leave a comment. We're going to give that away. We'll let everybody who's watching this on replay get a chance to enter the share competition. So I'll give this away tomorrow, the propel tomorrow, on tomorrow's live. Okay, there's more questions for you though. So Linda, do you have questions?
I give you some still access questions.
Where?
Here. A few opening questions.
Okay, will recallers address leash dog reactivity? Again, I don't like to promise. I gotta change my camera. I don't like to promise people that their dog will turn into a unicorn and babies will never cry and everything is magical. I'm going to tell you, if you play the games, you will be blown away. Have we had dogs who have come through our program with reactivity problems that have become dogs who don't have reactivity problems? 100% yes. 100% yes. Why? Because a lot of those dogs just lacked confidence and were put into poor situations. And with our coaching and the games, we helped you understand things from your dog's point of view. We helped you to arrange the environment so that the dog has success. Now the dog doesn't feel the need to lash out. Now the environment turned into white noise. What is white noise? Something that goes on in the background that we don't even notice anymore. So dogs walking on the street used to be danger, Will Robinson. Okay, I'm dating myself. To your dog has now become white noise. Is somebody playing a radio on that porch? I didn't hear it. Neither did I see that dog walk by because I'm so focused on what we're doing because I'm so connected to you. So yes, a lot. We have had so many behavior challenges that have gone away because of the attention of playing 40 games. 40 games. All right. How long do we have access recallers? Is a 1-year program. And honestly, by the 6-month mark, you should have gone through all 41 games. And then we encourage you to recommit and go through them all again with us because found a mastery. I think it was Bruce Lee who said this. Mastery is mastering the fundamentals. Myself, I compete at the highest level of dog agility. And what allows me to do that is I am really damn good at the fundamentals of dog agility. I am really, really good at a dog who has rock solid stays, really good at a dog understanding how to jump fast, keep the bars up, turn tight, hit weave entries, mastery of the fundamentals. And so we encourage people to go through a second round of the 41 games. And some people will do all 41 twice. Some people will just go, I've got 6 games here that I really want to get focused on because these ones are more difficult for my dog. And we encourage you to have it be a way of life that you video your training. I know I got some really, really long stares, long, hard looks. Last week I was at the U.S. Nationals and I was camping there right behind where my I rented a trailer. Behind the trailer was this big green area. And then there's like a horseshoe of trailers on the outside. I would set my camera up, take my puppy's hot zone out there, and I would video the training I did with him every day. And people are like, what is this lady? Like, always got to video herself. Like, what's wrong with her? So you want to make sure that if you play the fundamental, whether it's Homeschool the Dog, whether it's Recallers, whether it's Handling 360, Agility Nation, you focus on the lesson plans, you video yourself, yes, you will have a different dog.
Use the system, use what you're given in the
You
program.
just take advantage of everything we have for you. The 4 C's are what's going to get you there, though. The 4 C's. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down and see if there's anything else. So you guys keep sharing. We're going to give away Propel. But right now, I'm going to give away another prize. Well, not right now. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you to get it. The tug toys from For My Merles. The tug toys that you saw me playing with, I had 2 different ones out here today. And the tug toys that I'm playing with, I'm going to give away a tug toy. And here's how you can earn it from the good people at For My Merles. I think this has been a really important live. I'm glad I got the rant off my chest. And I'm glad to be able to explain to you guys the difference between taking an online program that gives you lifetime access and taking one that gives you a really involved, intimate experience of coaching, commitment, caring, community, and great content, obviously. So in order to get one of those toys, I would encourage you now to share, go to our main Facebook page. So Dogs That, Susan Garrett Dogs That Facebook page. And if there was one thing, one aha from today, write it. There'll be a post there called Gems. Write your big takeaway from today. And I like to do this for 2 reasons. Number one, some people, how long have we been live here? I don't know, a while. 40 minutes. Some people maybe can't watch the whole thing from the beginning. I encourage you to rewatch today's live. We give them the gems. Here are the big takeaways. Here are the important things you need to go. And so that gives everybody an opportunity to get some great dog training. And maybe, just maybe, it will encourage them to listen to this entire live. You leave your gem there, and we are going to read each and every one of them. We're going to pick one and give you one of those For My Merle dog training tugs. Tomorrow, I will come back and I will do another live. We will focus again on great dog training and how the layers of learning help to change that gap between making that growth gap be faster and bigger for you. And that future gap, there'll always be one, because you and me, we're lifelong learners. Dog training is never checked off, because dog training is part of connecting with the dog. We're lifelong. We might be training different things, but we're always connecting with our dogs and helping them to get to a better place, because that helps us to get into a better place. Okay, Linda.
Bonnie'd like to know, how proficient each game do you need to be before you move on to the next?
How proficient do you need to be with each game before you move on to the next? Well, we encourage people to video their training and compare it to what you see on the page with whatever dog you're watching. And I'll let you know, it's not Susan Garrett training her world champion dogs in Recallers in Homeschool the Dog. Occasionally I will, but mostly it's just people off the street, and I teach them how to play the game. People off the street, and they learn how to play whatever game, and then you can see how a beginner learns the games as well. And so we encourage people to play the games, but don't get obsessed with making it perfect. Progress over perfection. Move on. Get to your next game. Get through all 41, and then come back and try it again. All right. So the URL, as you can see, all of the programs that we have on Cyber Event, and you can see a little video where I walk you through what would be the best program for you to join with where you're at right now. So if you go to dogszat.com/cyber, and I know somebody on my team is going to put that URL in here for you. All right, so that you can see all the different programs. Have you ever started a Discord community for those people who don't use Facebook? Okay, Taters, I like your handle. So I'm really open. If you would do me a massive favor and write to my team and tell them what that means.
So you don't have to be on Facebook to do the teaching. Like it's all in.
So, okay. Okay,
Clear.
great. So let's clarify two things. Number one, all of our programs are on websites that we develop. So you don't have to be part of Facebook to join any of our programs. They are all independently held websites. The only thing that you need to be on Facebook for is to post a gem. But you can post a gem to Twitter and then share it right into wags@dogthat.com and say, here's my gem. I posted it to Twitter with a link back to this YouTube live, right? You can do that. Absolutely. So unlike a lot of dog training programs, ours are not based on social media because we recognize a lot of people who have a lot of social media channels are not training their dogs. We want you to train your dog. So we don't make anybody be on Facebook in order to have access to our programs. If you want to, a lot of the social aspect of Recolors or Homeschool the Dog happens in Facebook. And some people ask questions. They prefer to ask the questions there. But we have a lot of students who do not have any social media handles. And so they do it all inside our classrooms.
Tons of recommendations in here if people want to read them.
Will Recolors ever be on Kajabi? I don't know. I will never say never, but it used to be, but it's not anymore. We have more flexibility with what we do and our websites we build ourselves. Okay. I need a toddler-sized dog's that hoodie. Okay, Angie. I don't have one for you right now, but I think there might be one on if you go to our website, actually. But I can't think of that. I love my purple hoodie, so I got to tell you that.
Are there Black Friday sales on merchandise?
Yes, that's what I just answered that question. I don't think there are Black Friday sales on merchandise, just on the we don't have as much control over that.
Is there a summary of what's in H360?
If you go to dogszat.com/cyber, click on Handling 360, and there's a video, if you like to watch videos, that talks about all the pathways within the Handling 360, or there's a long page that tells you everything that's in there. Okay, so what about Canadian currency? You know, I like to bring this up. People want to know, you're a Canadian. Why do you have American currency? Because we have students from countries. I've lost count how many countries around the world we are at. And I bet you somebody on my team will put that answer in there. And so US currency is the #1 accepted currency. And so that's why we could make it, I don't know, what, $800 US. It doesn't matter what the number is, because it's about what is the value. Just like it's not about learning 41 games. What it is about getting the transformation from your dog from where you are today to where you want to be. What is that worth to you? Is it worth what, like for Handling 360, it's close, like say round figures, it's $1,000 US. I saw so many people at the US Open, I would say hundreds, struggling with their dogs, hundreds, that I know if they went through Handling 360, they would not struggle the way they were on those big courses. And so it probably cost me close to $5,000 to go to the US Open, because I had to rent a trailer, drive all the way to Florida, hotels and food on the way, blah, 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 blah. The entry fees. So one weekend, it was well over, it was close to $5,000. If you invested your time in a Handling 360 program, whether it's $1,000 or whatever, 1,300 Canadian dollars, is that value there for you? 100% it is. In 100% it is. Fivefold, tenfold, it's there for you. Think of a career of struggling with your dog and the frustration. Think of never having your dog off leash because of the difference of, I am from South Africa, and we've had students from South Africa say, this is equivalent to 1 month's salary for me, but I see the value. I know it's US currency, but I see the value for me to use my South African dollar and give my 1 month wage to have a dog that has that connection with me. So focus not on the dollar, whether this is, oh yes, I have to pay more because I'm from South Africa. Some of you have a family to feed. This isn't in the cards for you. That's why I put so much effort into the our Dogs That YouTube page, because I feel for people who can't make this work. I want you to have amazing dog training content. It's there for you on YouTube. But for those of you who say, I want to step up and make that investment in my dog for $49 to join a Homeschool the Dog, for the investment it is to join Recallers or any of our programs, it is, I promise you, there is not a better return on value anywhere in the online space than being part of one of our communities. I very proudly say that. I know there's a lot of great programs out there, but it's not about it's this dollar. It's about the value it brings to your life to have that transformation in your dog. Right? So yes, there are people, Canadians, who say, I'm not going to join because it's not in Canadian. And then that progress of where you are today, where you were last month, and a year from now, we're having this conversation. Where's your growth gap a year from now? How are you going to get there? I know there's people who are joining us in Recallers or Handling 360. I know where that growth gap will be for them. Where will that growth gap be for you? Don't get stuck over the currency. Yes, I just bought a device for, I don't know what it's called, on a Black Friday sale today for my legs, and it's a recovery thing, and it's frustrating, but the value was there to me as a Canadian to spend the 30% more than my American friends have to spend.
Susan,
Yep.
Caitlin's asking, should she finish Recallers before joining Handling 360?
Caitlin wants to know, should she finish Recallers before she joins Handling 360? Caitlin, I want you to join when it's the absolute best time for you. And so I suggest contact our team and let our coaches help you make that decision. If you are progressing through the games and your dog is loving playing Recallers, then I would say you're probably ready to add more to that. If you are still struggling and your dog doesn't have focus for the games, then you might be best to stay there. But let somebody from my team help you make that decision, because I don't want you to overwhelm yourself by taking on too much. So Connie said, Homeschool the Dog is where we started. That's great. I mean, a lot of people start there and then they keep progressing. Some people jump right in and say, I want that year of coaching. I don't want just 4 months. I want a year. And so they join either Recallers or Handling 360. All right. I'm actually going to go train my dog now. So any other questions? If you go to dogsthat.com/cyber, there's a FAQ there where you can ask. A lot of these questions have been answered. And there also is a live chat at the bottom. If you want to speak to somebody in person, like somebody on my team will be typing in there, then and if they're busy with somebody else, then they will contact you after. All right. Okay. So Kesa said, in Poland, for me, it was like a few months' salary. Wow. But we do make it installments. And Kesa says it was 100% worth it. A big, big heart right back at you. I wish I could coach every single person who has a dog, who wants that dog to have a better life. I wish I could coach every single person. I would love that. But for some of you, it's a decision. One of my trainings today. So the puppy did get some training when we were away, but not enough. And so the puppy is going to be getting a lot of training in the building, and Thissy is going to get some. I had a couple missed dog walk contacts when we were away. Dissy's starting to love agility so much that her dog walk at the beginning of this year, it was a 6-strided dog walk. Most of the year, it turned into a 5-strided dog walk. Over the course of the weekend, it was a 4-strided dog walk because she left out the stride that allowed her to hit the bottom. So we're going to be going back and reminding her of those things. So that's what we are working on. So for some of you, we have installments, but I know that people like PayPal will offer better terms. They are a financial or institution. So look at, I don't remember what it's called, the PayPal version, that they will give you better terms for joining with installments. Okay, so I will see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you for being here, and thank you for participating, and thank you for allowing me to have a little rant, and for helping me to guide what I was saying with your comments. And so, yeah, we'll see you. Any other questions, just ask my team. They'll be there for you.